I just scalped that real quick because that's what I do. Bang. Oh, you want the proof? I know. You're like, oh, you didn't scalp that. I want to see the proof. You didn't do that. We did though. We did though. I need a max win. I need a max win.
Shout out to everybody here on the live. Emergency, mayday for cryptocurrency world markets. It seems like we're in a bit of a black swan here. 52,500 for Bitcoin. Do we go lower? It's still false move Monday on top of all that. So we have the same scenarios. I remind you, it's still false move Monday. We go all the way into one thing, we forget about the other. Still false move Monday here today for Bitcoin. Let's jump on into the markets and see what's happening. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Welcome to the Crypto Liver Show. May God bless each and every one of you for being here. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Now, if you wanted to get into BTC, these are great prices. At the end of the day, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice, as you can read there in the blue there. But at the same time, if I hadn't got into Bitcoin, I'd be looking for a red day, and these are some of the reddest days I've seen in a long time for BTC. All right, let's break down Bitcoin. I took a I took a little short this morning and played out to basically nil, but then I took a quick long like I always do above the 200 MA. We turned into a flag. We got a nice little pump to the upside here on MEXC if it'll show me the money. And we got this beautiful pump out the flag. 21-day moving average, low stochastic. Bang. I ended up just keep moving my stop loss, The candle got bigger and bigger. That's my thing. And then boom. Then it looked like we might make another flag. I left it alone. And this is kind of where we sit for Bitcoin. Let's break it down. The 5-minute just got rejected by the 200 MA. You see that? Things that I'm watching very, very closely. We're looking for this to actually go. I wanted to see this break down. This is my first call this morning, that this descending triangle would break to the downside. We get rejected there. We got to pump out, probably to go after the false move Monday, grab it, whoever was shorting there, and got to stopped out, right? Okay, I woke up to craziness. Yes, it's absolutely insanity. We had this going all night last night. I was live streaming for 4 hours during the entire dump, and we had one of the biggest live streams ever here on the channel. It was like 5,000 people. It was out of control. It was crazy. It really was. 1,600 likes. It got to 23,000 views. If you look at the stream, probably one of the biggest streams ever in the history. That was fun. It was, man. Crazy how trading one yellow line could change your life. Forever grateful for the lessons learned here. Join the 99. Chris Goss, we love you. Justin Cashmore, Jamie Sino, Catherine Brunetti, Moonshine, and everybody here on the live. So where are we going? What's happening? Well, let's do what we do every single time. Let's take a look at that monthly, right? Because we have to. And we talked about how the monthly had this bearish divergence. That is bearish divergence on the monthly. Look like we're going to dump down to what? The 21-day moving average, and says we could get down to 40,000. and come all the way back down to monthly support, possibly at 38K. This is a possibility. Could we even bounce here at 47,000? Honestly, this pump was artificial. Bitcoin has its own run that's supposed to take place, but this was an ETF pump. Really, just, really, we kind of supposed to chill out and then start the pump October, November, right? I don't know. The whole thing has just been a very interesting market because we pumped artificially a little earlier than such due to the ETF involvement. I mean, that's just the facts right now of where we're at, right? But there's bearish div on the monthly. We did talk about this. The stochastics are overbought. We're away from the 21-day moving average. The monthly looks somewhat bearish here. We were up until this, though. We were in a nice little flag, and you could just, okay, is the monthly just going to make a nice little bull flag and go sideways? But we did talk about this. We just did the monthly candle close, right? 6 days ago, you were with me, and we went over this chart because we do the monthly candle close on my channel every single month, right? So you can see here, right, that, and then now do we drop further down to the 21 SMA? I'm not saying it pumped artificially, but we had all this, everyone into the ETF, and I mean, look at those moves in the month, right? I mean, they were magnanimous, right? And we kind of have to pull back a little bit. Pull a Fibonacci on this just to keep yourself calm and collected. And I mean, you come back to the 618 many times. 42,775, touch the 21, and then we'd be on our way for a beautiful rally. That would also be a giant Sammy cup and handy to the upside, right? We'd make some type of cup and handle here on the monthly, and there you have it. So I'm just saying, this pullback could be very, very, healthy just for the bigger time frames, for a larger move, like a 7 to 8 month pump coming. If to load up a pump like that, you got to get things ready. And we had, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of pumpage, including these little beginnings too as well. So, I mean, it's been a rally and a half for Bitcoin. I kept saying, take some profits, stash some cash, make sure you're okay, at least to get by for the next year or two so you can withstand whatever they throw at us. At this point, the 2-week chart has lost the sauce, right? And that's a bearish engulfing candle. I mean, that's just nasty. That closes like that, it could definitely signal more downside. I don't see how we couldn't go to 38,000. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bear news. Get it? The bearer of bear news. Anyway, but I got to give it to you exactly how I see it. I'm not a perma bull. I'm not a perma bear. I'm just a trader who looks at the market one day at a time, one moment at a time, one candle at a time, right? Every single day, Sabby, cup and handy to the upside. But look at this. I mean, the weekly, here's your like Hail Mary bullish scenario. You're making some type of like inverted head and shoulder, okay? And a complex inverted head and shoulder, hopefully. And like, you round out here and you make 2 more shoulders and you still break out. And this is your lower low. You never go lower than this. You bounce off the weekly 50, which is right there, and you don't go lower than the 50-day moving average. Once you break the 50, it assumes we'd come to the point of control and come to the 80, which is at about $42,000, right? So you kind of need a bounce here for Bitcoin. That's what you're looking for. Looks like we're getting it here at 53,300. All right, and we're going to get into the smaller time frames in a second. Let me take a look at what's happening here on... Yeah, we're starting to rally. And again, just buying when you break the 200 MA, right? And just sticking to the schedule and doing exactly what you're supposed to do, and then buying when we hit the 21s and we make flags, right? I'm telling you, when I stick to my system, it just doesn't fail. Like, if you bought right here above the 200 MA, right there, or even when you retested, bang. You're still in the money right now for Bitcoin. And this has a target above 56,000. We could get a nice little bounce here. There's a lot of people that shorted the market at the last minute. They panic short, right? They just run into a short immediately. The big boys, people who are building our shorts, right? We took our money. We're sitting pretty now watching the market on a Monday. I scalped along. We'll see what else we can see. This looks like another long maybe coming your way here to the upside. That's a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio with the stop loss below that low there. Right now, you might have a double top at 53,000. All right, let's get back into the macro top-down analysis for BTC. And we're going to head back on now into that 5-day chart. All right, 5-day, 2 bearish engulfers. I mean, nasty. Once you had the bearish engulfer there, you knew more was coming. You draw this trend line and you say, hey, we're going to probably come to the bottom of the trend line. I've seen this day in and day out, many, many times for many, many assets. Bitcoin is no different. People think just because you're trading a bigger, more fun asset or that it's going to do something different in the charts. And the more you trade, the more you realize it does not. It does exactly what it's supposed to do on the charts. It does not change. It does not change. All right. So here's the 5-day too. And now the 5-day almost getting right to that 80-day moving average, right? Or the 80 moving average on the 5-day, however you want to call it, right? Now, moving average is getting tight again on the 3-day chart, which isn't the worst sign. Like, that tells me that there could be, you know, that's what you want to see before a big pump, when the moving averages get nice and close together. You know, there's still a chance we're making a shoulder, some type of head and right shoulder here. There's still a chance we consolidate, pull the 200 in. As long as we don't lose the 200 on the 3-day, we're going to be in pretty good shape. We tried to lose it here, but we did not. Right? This could just be one of the biggest, most extended bull runs we've ever seen. And it just takes, you know, it's just, there's a lot of liquidity back and forth. Bitcoin could take violent swings. And, you know, we talked about this back at 10,000, 20,000. Remember, Bitcoin could move 10,000 in a day. And people are like, no way, 10,000 in a day. And it's like, yeah, because it's going to get volatile. As it gets bigger and bigger, what happens when it becomes 100 yen? It can move $5,000 in a heartbeat, right? Because that's going to be a smaller amount compared to the bigger amount that it, you know. Anyway, so right now we're holding this trend line. You can say, you know, you can say, okay, we're attempting to hold the trend line somewhat here, right? It's a bit sketchy on that idea even, but you know, I'm saying, hey, why wouldn't we go now to the 2-day 200 MA? Well, we got pretty dang close to it, and we basically whipped right to the previous wick. Bitcoin will front run the actual support or resistance area. I've seen it many times because there'll be so many people stacking orders right there. People will see those orders and be like, well, I'll stack above those. And then the bigger orders get filled above those first orders. It's front running the low point, right? However, still stochastics pointing to the downside. It still tells me that there could be more. And if you look at this as a head and shoulder pattern, which you must at this point, and you go from the neckline to the head, it does suggest you can go to 44,000. And I don't see how you wouldn't spill down to this POC at 42,600. So there's a chance we still go $10,000 lower. Everyone, you know, everyone's like, oh, we're just going to bounce. I don't believe, you know, there's definitely a chance that we go lower here for BTC. Heading on to the daily chart, when you lose the 200 MA, the second that daily candle closed right there, that was your signal to short the market. I always talk about it whenever you're below, and that's when we knew to start shorting, and that's when we took advantage of the shorts, and that's why, you know, we could see what was going to happen whenever you lose a 200 MA. I was talking about it here before that even happened. I pointed out this on Twitter. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. I said, I see some bearishness here on the daily. There was bearish divergence. See, and the bearish divergence carried all over to the 4-hour, to the 8-hour. I'm just saying it was pretty, you know, and we had hit a top, you know, resistance at the tip of this level. So it told me that we were likely going to dump. That's a shoulder head. That's a perfect head and shoulder pattern if I've ever seen one. Right. Anyway, and you know, even the right shoulder with a stop loss right there, and boom, to the downside. Right. I could find this on Twitter for you. Follow me on Twitter at CryptoLifer33. I greatly appreciate it. And I can just scan till I see the head and shoulder pattern not too long ago. Crazy though. Right here too. Anyone else see bearishness on the daily? Thoughts to discuss. Let me know how you feel. And I could see this taking a massive dump to the downside for Bitcoin. It just didn't look good. The MACD, RSI, everything looked like we were going to take a downturn on all my indicators, everything, you know, and I've been doing this for a while. It's they're like 80 to 90% accurate when they say we're going to dump. We take a nice dump. So anyway, that was one easy, you know, pretty simple indication that we were going to go to the downside. There's a point of control you start losing on the VRVP when you lose a red line point of control. And then you started losing like the 8-hour 200 MA, right? Which I knew to watch. The 4-hour, you know, the 4-hour 200 MA. Like all these things began to happen. It told you to watch out for BTC, all right? Also, stochastics just stayed so low on this 4-hour and we just kept bleeding down to the downside. Anyway, this all began, and people don't believe me, when we lost the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. The second we lost the 200 MA on the 1 minute, we were gone. And people don't realize how important the 1 minute is. It really starts to show you. And as long as you keep battling and you don't get far enough above it, here's the first time we finally breached the 200 MA in somewhat of a good way here. You see? But we've tried this a few times only to get laterally pushed below it again. Can we finally, and every single big reversal happens here, and like, this could be an Adam and Eve double bottom, right? You got to have some type of reversal pattern to get going here for BTC. Anyway, let me get back to brass tacks here on the daily time frame. And again, we may even live trade here on the smaller time frame. It is Monday. I tend to stay away from Mondays, but when there's volatility, there's volatility. Yesterday was insanity. Traded all day. It was pretty insane. 5-minute battling the Tutoring MA. Possible double top. Amen. Yep. Greetings from Germany. Nice to see you again. The market is again volatile. It is, yes. At least it's not sideways. There was times when there was just complete sideways action and people were upset about that, you know? So everyone always wants more or less of what they don't have, but it is what it is, right? We had the move. Shout out to everybody here. My name is Crypto Lifer. I do run a trading group. If you ever want to jump on into that group and find out more, I got to find my pinned comment, which I was unable to pin yet. There it is. Shano, you're the man, dude. But there's a pinned message here at the top of the comment section, which will take you to my beautiful website, cryptolifer.com. All right. We're also running a beautiful campaign with WEEX. Jump on into WEEX and find out more. Claim up to a 20,000 USDT bonus, and it's awesome and easy. Stop worrying about the things everyone worries about and just trade. WEEX, baby. WEEX. All right. The daily. Bouncing. Could we get a bounce off this bottom trend line? In my opinion, we've kind of lost it. You know. So as you continue to watch what happened to price action, 4 hours trying to make a bullish engulfing candle and create a reversal here. I mean, you would have to say this is a slightly bullish div. It's not the best, but whenever you get a very violent move down, see, these were intersect. If that keeps going and that keeps going, they will intersect. That is a Class C bullish divergence, all right? It's unrecognizable the most. I've backtested it. It can react as a bullish div. And whenever you make such a fast move down, usually you can make a pretty fast move back to the upside, at least in liquidity. The area we're talking about is 60,400. You can see that's where you would come back to the 200 MA on the 4-hour time frame. Do we get a quick reversal, or do we make a, you know, and this is what we do. Remember when we're pumping? We start a flag, right? And so you don't even have to really do much here. But if we're going to continue to short the market, which is very likely, because now the shorts are in favor. Now that, you know what I mean, the trend is your friend until it's not. Look, we have a death cross coming, just like we have a bullish golden cross, right? So you're looking for a move up, boom, 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 come to the 21-day moving average. Looks like you may actually make it more violent because the 21's so far away. And then bang, you know. But I would watch this twisted sister like we do the other, you know what I mean? Same scenario here for Bitcoin. We just flip it upside down like we were trading long or short, right? This is what's called a twisted sister. And what you do is you project it before you see it. And this way you see the trade before it happens. All right. I already start setting up my trade. I'm like, well, if it makes a flag, I'm going to be in here, my stop loss there, and I'm going down there. And like, now this doesn't mean this is going to happen for sure. But I'll tell you what, many times in my life I've done this, and then we've seen a bear flag. I've entered the trade and the trade has gone well. And I saw the trade way before it ever happened. And this way you plan out the trade before the trade happens. You must be planning your trades. The people that just jump on in because of emotions and stuff, again, here there's no emotion. When it starts to fill out, you've already thought it through. So if this is a plan and you're telling yourself that you've planned the trade out already by being here. So this is what I'm going to teach you every day, not just technical analysis, but these mental ideas, these mental movements to keep you in check, to keep you disciplined, to keep you from, you know, just extending yourself too far, doing things that don't make any sense, trading patterns that don't produce probability rates. You want a high probability, so you want to trade things that make sense. Okay? The 4-hour has to get back above the 200 MA. Let's take a look at our 1-hour time frame. Looks like it wants to move. A better bullish divvy here on the 1 hour, right? It just, you know, that's a nice bullish divergence there too as well. It does suggest we may get a bounce. Do we get a rising wedge bounce that could still be a flag, or do we get a really strong bounce is the question. At the end of the day, you look at Bitcoin now on the 1 hour, you could say, okay, we're at a falling wedge. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. Do we get that breakout is the question. All right. And then you'll say, well, we have resistance. And that's the bottom of that trend line too. Resistance though at about 55,186. You got to break back above that to remain bullish. And what you do is you keep rewinding back till you can see where the 200 MAs are. The closer a 200 MA is, the better off you will be, right? Like so. Can you break this? Can the 15-minute get up there? Are we lacking, any movement? And so this is what we see today. All right, shoulder, head, right shoulder, bit of a, a wacky inverted. Broke out of this weak trend line. Now we're above, and now you see your 21. So now you're like, all right, can the 15-minute flag out, touch the 21-day moving average, and now you can see a long here too. Now you can see the pathway. Can the 7-minute, and then the 7-minute right here, right? And then remember, we got rejected by the 5-minute 200 MA. If I remember correctly, there should be a yellow line right there at rejection. Yes, with my photographic memory there. Not that hard, though. We didn't look at it too long ago. But so here's the deal. This is what's called a flag. If the 5-minute breaks the 200 MA, we could have ourselves a move. I've traded this 5-minute break now 6 or 7 times in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I traded the 7-minute a lot. I started using the 5 just because they had only the 5 on MEXC, and I had to do what they did, whatever was there. Honestly, the 5-minute is producing some beautiful gains. So if we can get a candle close above this yellow line, which is my 200 MA, we could start some type of reversal here for Bitcoin. Bit of an Adam and Eve, and then we always say a little bit of a flag after the Adam and Eve. I've seen it many, many times. So you can almost call it a shoulder head and an elongated right shoulder. Bit of an Adam and Eve double bottom with a higher low, and so far good for some type of reversal here for Bitcoin. We have fended off the lows at $49,121 to bounce back $4,000 to $53,150. So here we stand. This is what we watch. Now, if you get rejected here, we'll slump. And the idea is you could play this just like a falling wedge. So very simply put, as crazy as this is, if you break back inside this pattern, you take the base of this pattern, which would be up here, and that tells you where you're going to go. And it's very likely that's where you're going to go. I'm telling you right now. You will see a drop to 43,000 if you break back inside this trend line. So we already have okay, we know what's going to happen. So either we continue out at these flags, and you can go to the 1 minute. And now the 1 minute is in a nice, kind of like a double bottom little flag here, but it is more of a symmetrical triangle now. See that? And these can be bearish. Specifically, recently, I've seen them break down more than break up. Here's your elongated pole if this does make the move. And your target would be $57,088, right? So we can see a possibility here. You broke the 200, our first level of movement. Now you need to break the 200 on the 5-minute time frame. You could go to the 3-minute or the 2. You could do all that. I like to jump to the 5, then the 7, 10, and the 15, and it goes into succession. All right? And this is how every single move for every coin in the world will ever move. So you see, I broke it down in my mind. I said, how can something bounce back? And I looked at everything that ever bounced back in the world. And I sat there by myself alone in the charts, and I did it over and over again. The charts had all the answers for you. They told you exactly what's going to happen. You get it? You're a human being. The math has been written for years on end. And the people who buy and sell things, they send the information into the charts. That information gets regurgitated into the math. The math then gives you the data, and the data is your lesson. Autodidactic. What is autodidactic? Auto meaning by the self, right? Like autobiography, right? And didactic to learn, right? So autodidactic is to learn from within. Like once you know something, to continue to learn from, basically to get more knowledge from the knowledge which you've already had. Okay? And the charts, I'm telling you, it's all there. And you look at me like I'm nuts, right? But I said, okay, let me look at gold. Let me look at anything that ever had a chart on it in the world of charts. And I'll look at any crash that gold ever had. And let's take a look at gold's crashes, right? Here's a nasty crash for gold, and you can see the first thing it does is it loses the 200 SMA. On the daily, starts a nasty dump. When you lose the daily 200 SMA, that could be the beginning of a bear market. I'm being honest with everybody. Period. Every single bear market began from the 4-hour losing the 200. The 1 minute, you see the smaller time frames. But how can you suggest that every small time frame? Again, you learn how to compile the data, and you can see when you're in a bigger trend. Now, if we went back in time to this area here, where gold finally had its move, I'm giving you, again, why am I doing this? I sat for free and did this alone. Why am I giving you all the information for free? Who does this? Why would I do this? Honestly, I believe if I do that, I create such a bond with you that you haven't made with so many people in the world that you'll respect and love me. And I'm all about the love. And once the love is formed, me and you can go places you've never thought possible. I can help you as a mentor, friend, and we can really get your mind on another level and your discipline, your focus. But I gotta give you first. I gotta give it to you first, right? I gotta meet you. So let's keep going. You can go to the 1 hour now and find these blue lines, this is going to be a difficult example. This is not going to be easy. This backtesting took me years to figure out and takes a lot of time. All right. You got to find these moments in time. Actually, I could just put dates in and remember the dates, right? But here we are, and you can see at this blue line now, right? When we start our move back to the upside for Bitcoin, like the 1 hour will break above the 200. If you go back all the way to the 1 minute, it will begin. So my whole point is, when the biggest moves happen, and then you move into succession to the 4 hour time frame, after you've gained your move, and you can see, look, the 4 hour gained the 200 there and started a massive move. We did have a dump, but then it continued. But the idea is it starts at these small time frames, and it starts with these bullish type of scenarios. It's always some type of pennant, falling wedge, bull flag, you see? The pattern does determine what happens. It's so insane. Look, then you get a rising wedge here, and that's bearish divergence. But then look, you made a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, which broke to the upside, and then another inverted, and it just goes on and on. You could learn gold to silver to Forex to euro. It does not matter. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the Japanese yen USD, because that's the main reason we're seeing some issues here in the world markets. We'd like to see if they kind of reverse this trade at one point, but they're continuing to punch this to the upside. Like I told you, though, it'll have to come back to the 21. This means that we'll have at least a little bit of a rally in the stock market, because this will, people aren't going to be able to just continue to buy the Japanese yen right now. Like, it's going to get a little bit of a sell-off. Whoever was already in the yen too, you have to remember there's both sides of every trade. What was happening? Well, you borrow the yen at zero interest rate, and then you could borrow assets around the world and maybe even things you could make interest rates on. So it was free money in a way. But the interest rate changed, right? And so the people that were in those other assets sold if they were in equities, if they were holding treasuries, bond, whatever they were in, they sold them off and gave back the loans on the Japanese yen because they didn't want to have to pay, you know what I mean? Because the ride was over. This created a flip in the Japanese yen to the upside and a sell-off and risk on assets like Bitcoin, gold, like almost anything went down if you realize it. Even the DXY got sold off because people were getting back into the Japanese yen. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this makes sense. It took me, you sit here and uncover all this insanity, and then you also see it in the charts. Now, this could continue. If the Japanese yen comes and hits this 21 and makes a bull flag, where it means that this is going to likely continue here. And that means we could see that $30,000, $40,000 Bitcoin. We're going to be keeping this on track and watching this very, very closely for you. This is going to be a pretty big deal here for the Japanese yen USD. So I would keep my eye on this. You do whatever makes you happy, but this is definitely something we have to pay attention to. The Japanese yen versus the US dollar. All right. Bitcoin getting the double bottom breakout on the 1 hour time, on the 1 minute. Can it move? Measured move of this is a double bottom. I mean, that does have a measured move to the upside. Really from the neckline. Could begin its first process on up. But only time will tell. All right. Look, my ear recovered pretty quick. A lot quicker than the last time. Still blocky a little bit, but way better than before. For sure. I have a little bit of an earache right now, but don't worry about that. Let's focus on the charts and forget about me. Who cares about this guy over here? Let's do what we got to do over here. So Bitcoin getting the bounce, right? A little bit of a flag here, touching the 21. And we're waiting to see if that, see, there's the 5 minute breaking the 200 MA. Now we get a candle close above that. That actually can spark some more fireworks. And then we're going to be going for the 7 minute 200 MA. Which when you get tight moving averages, looks like it's very likely right now, and we're flagging out. 7 minute looks interesting for a move to the upside as well. Somewhat of recovery here for Bitcoin. Bit of an Adam and Eve double bottom if I've ever seen one. And you got to Google this if you don't know what it is. That's an Adam and Eve double bottom. All right? And we'll do it for you.
go to google.com. Adam and Eve, right? As I leave the G off, I don't know why. But you'll see it's everywhere in trading. There's a sharp diamond, you know, half, you know, it's a triangle with a semicircle. The semicircle can be a bit higher. That's a good sign that you have a higher low too as well. All right. But Bitcoin definitely expressing the sign of an Adam and Eve double bottom here and getting the move. Wow, 54,000 for Bitcoin. Getting a punchy move here back to the upside for BTC. And again, whenever we get back above the 200 MA, this is the trade I had earlier, hit the target perfectly. Bang, bang, bang. And we look for that 5-minute 200 MA to break, and we look for liquidity. Now, we know we have to come back to the 21-day moving average at one point, which is the white line. We could front run it right now, but it could be risky. Or we could wait for price action to pump again and then come back to the 21. Two different, you know, scenarios. It's high risk either way here. It is a Monday too, and it is false move Monday. However, we have a previous resistance becoming a pretty strong support line. We definitely SR flipped that level right here. Could definitely use that as an area to protect myself. And then you're just looking for a chunk of liquidity where you see a bunch of liquidity to the upside, and you have two zones. One there at 59.4 and one all the way up at about 60,000, right? And again, buying the dip is essential for BTC. You know, I always buy the dip when it comes to Bitcoin. You got to. So I was buying these prices yesterday, the lows that I could, even taking nibbles last night. And yeah, deploy. It's not easy to do. It hurts. But if you don't buy the fear, then you have to program your brain to be different. And we do. That's how we do it. We program our brain to be different. And it's important. Over time, that breeds success. And people don't even realize that success. Success is a consecutive behavior of results from consecutive behavior, right? That's all success is. Results from doing the same thing over and over again. Like, I'll be here today, tomorrow, the next day, and you'll be like, how is this dude always here? It just, you know, you fall into line with how you want to live. And you live that way, right? So whenever I'm above the 200 MA, what was that? 52.413. Yeah. Liquidation is 49. Yeah, take the buy long order stop loss parent trigger price must profit. Take profit. 60,907. Trying to see what's wrong there. I think I just had, whenever you limit in, and I missed the pump too as that happened, right? But again, I'm using the 200 as my protector here and just letting it rip. And these trades are best to be not watched. You just want to see, you know what I mean? You come back to it an hour later and it hits the target or does not. All right. We want to see if the 7-minute breaks back above the 200 MA. So we took you from the monthly to the weekly chart, all the way to the 5-day daily, to the 4-hour. And now we're showing you how reversals happen. We even showed you this is how it happens on other assets throughout the world. Try to give you kind of a backstory into what I'm doing. So you're not just like sitting here watching this guy play with this yellow line. What the heck is he doing? I'm telling you, the yellow line is the way to trade. It'll control your whole life. You'll see life differently if you use the yellow line to your advantage, right? Also, when moving averages get close together and tight, this tells you indications. Right now we have the 21 crossing. Eventually, it's almost telling us that we could get a golden cross here on the 7-minute time frame. Meaning we may get one of these, like the 200 may cross the 50 here. The 50 may cross the 200 here. We may be somewhere up in here. And Bitcoin may definitely get somewhat of a reversal here. I mean, whenever an asset like this gets sold off that hard, Right? You think it would get at least a small reversal. You never know, though. Honestly, it is False Move Monday, and you never know. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. We do need to come back to this white line. All right? That's another thing. You kind of want to sometimes wait. I front run it a little bit. I would suggest you don't. I'm a little too risky a lot of times. You'd wait for this white line to cross the 21 and wait for price to come to it. It's a better trade, a lower risk trade, in my humble opinion, than the trade that I took right now. All right? It also is Monday. I tend not to trade on Mondays, but hey, you know, there's a chance we get a reversal with the volatility, so I'm taking that chance, right? You got to understand markets and where you're at in the market. We just had a massive slump dump, so we know that there's a lot of liquidity to the upside and a lot of people that are going to ape into a short. So, you know, less people are going to long the bottom. It's just what happens. Most people are going to short, you know, are going to try to long the top. So you got to go trade against the market, right? And you know, retail is way less people are going to try to long right now. They don't have strategies. They're just going to be like, oh, let's short the market. It's so bearish now. But like they're going to panic short, just like they panic long at the top, right? We've shown a pretty nice bounce here. We're attempting to plug up stop the bleeding, but you never know. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. 2,200 people here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. We appreciate you. All right. Again, if you want to trade these markets the way I trade them, or, you know, just leverage trade on a daily basis. And again, I would demo trade leverage trading for a long time, at least 2 to 3 months, 150 trades. You got to know what you're doing if you're going to touch leverage. I traded spot for years on end. I did trade 3 times directly on daily ETFs, but I couldn't get liquidated, and I was just trading the same asset. It was just like trading a spot asset. And I did that for years and years before I even entered the crypto market. So trading is something that's going to it took me about 10 to 15 years to truly, fully get a good handle over, and I'm still a beginner. I still call myself a beginner every day, and I never want to get ahead of myself. And every time I think I'm the man or I'm the boss or something's amazing, trading always can seem to slam me down. So I always stay diligent. I always stay disciplined, and I urge you to do the same. A trading group really helps you do that because it reminds you to keep yourself on a level mental playing field, because you know that's where you need to be to succeed. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to win on your own. You are going to win on your own, but you're not going to win without the discipline, right? You're going to have to put in the work. I didn't realize that until I joined a trading group. I really didn't even realize the true discipline needed. The mentor of that group, he worked so hard every single day, and he taught me what's successful. I was like, oh, to be successful, I'm going to work every single day of my life at something. And I said, okay, this is what it means. And the definition of success is consistency. How to be consistent. It's not easy. A lot of people, one day they're not feeling that well. They go up and down, right? Some days, my girlfriend dumped me. They go through all these emotions. They lose their job. I don't want to come into work today. I need another day off. And you fall into this habit of not feeling that consistent of a person. The next thing you know, you want to trade cryptocurrency and get into crypto, but you haven't even fine-tuned any of the things in your life that breed success. So then you take all those same bad habits and throw them into crypto, and you're not. And then you're wondering why am I not successful at cryptocurrency? This didn't go well. Because we need to fine-tune the person before the crypto comes to the person. We need to find out. You got to start working out every day, fine-tuning your mind, getting yourself at another level. These are super important things to do. Because once you get a lot of money, if you're lucky enough to do that, then you need real discipline. Because that's when what if you could buy anything you want today? You could do anything you want, buy anything you want. That's when discipline really comes into play. A lot of men, when they have access to money, aren't the same guys that they were before. They said they were good guys. They said they did the right thing. But next thing you know, they have, secret accounts and all sorts of other stuff. And the game has changed all of a sudden, right? A little bit of bearish divvy here. Look at that swing up. Well, this swings down a little bit. Caution in the market there for some bearish divergence. Taking a little long for this 21 to get up to the 200 SMA too as well. Bitcoin falling to 53,860 on the trade, right? And Monday, not my favorite day to trade. Keep it lighter on a Monday, even though we do see the volatility, right? So I'm really, that's kind of where we sit for BTC. Watching this flag, break or not break. It's kind of an ugly flag. I guess you could say this was the flag. But I feel like I got like a bit of a rising wedge action going on here now. which I mean could be our saving grace for, you know, rising wedges do break out parabolically, but 68% of the time they're going to dump on you. Excuse me. Feeling like crypto face right now. One day I'll do it for you. I'll just, you know, I don't know. My dad didn't like stuff like that. He's always like, hey, you know, have some, you know. He grew up old school, Irish Catholic, bricklayers, you know. His mom was a dietitian, even though she smoked cigarettes and ended up with a stroke inside of a wheelchair. I remember finding my grandma's wheelchair in a dusty old attic, you know, the old wheelchair. And I was like, whose was that, Daddy? That was your grandma's. You know, I never met my dad's mother. She died before I was born, you know. My grandpa died when he was shingling a roof. My dad's father died shingling a roof. My friend saw him on the ground. His head was cracked open, bleeding. Sorry. But that's what happened to my grandpa. He was like 84 years old, and he still was trying to shingle the roof. And he had like he got lightheaded on the ladder, and he fell off the ladder and broke his neck. And that's how he died. Amen. He died working, right? Pretty crazy. Who knows how he actually would have died had he not done that. Anyway, memories of life. Let me get back into the charts. Apologize, but I like to give you guys a little bit of a life story here inside of the charts so you can connect with me, get to know me, say hi, right? Let's take a look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency and see what's happening for that, all right? And again, this Adam and Eve double bottom may be our chance back to the upside. If the 7-minute breaks the 200, we have ourselves a bit of a reversal, and then we could get right back to liquidity at 2.01. Remember, what does the rest of the world have to offer right now that's more exciting than cryptocurrency? Like, why would you want to invest in the US dollar right now? I wouldn't. So if you're selling crypto, you're getting into Tether, you're pegged to the dollar. What's the point of that? Right? I don't see a point in that. I don't know. When I really ask myself, like, so if they tank cryptocurrency, it means everything's going down the tubes, in my humble opinion. That means like almost all opportunity. Because like that is the best opportunity right now for risk to reward ratio. If you're a mathematician, that's a fact, right? There may be a few things like, you know, someone might like Tesla. There may be a few up and coming techs on the stock market too, but they have the same type of vibrance that crypto does. My whole point is, and not every crypto company is legit. I get it. Some of them are just like a shell of what could be, and they don't really do anything they say they're going to do. 100%. But the point is, the ones that do, right? Those speculative assets are just too shiny and bright. And when you have a lot of money, you kind of need to speculate. So when I ask myself logically, where could the money go? It doesn't make sense that it goes anywhere else but back into crypto. Even if we do get a black swan, whatever happens, where else could you put the money? Like, where else could you speculate better? I don't see a better place, but who knows? All right. So total market cap, right? Same thing as Bitcoin on the weekly, hanging out. You look at your 2-day and your 3-day chart. Your 2-day chart did bounce off that 200 MA, and that's you know that's a go-to place of mine. Now my thing is, it broke the trend line, just like a lot of these. It's head and shouldery. It just oof. Like it says, hey, you could easily, once you go through this point of control, what's stopping you from going to $1.2 trillion, right? And that's where like the detective work comes in on the smaller time frames. So far, so good. There's like that, that's, one more, we get 3 white soldiers. That candle will close in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. The 555 soul, right? A nice bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame as suggested also by Bitcoin, where the dominance is pretty high, so that makes sense. Again, I always look at whatever you bounce before the dump, bounce, dump. So you're going to have to break back above $1.99 trillion. You're going to have to break the 200 MA and really start to get a move back to the upside here. Mixed signals, but so far so good. We'll see where we end on the day. Where does the daily candle have to close? Honestly, it would be amazing if we got back above these daily candles right here at 1.99. I mean, if we ripped all the way and closed. What's our, here, you could throw it here. You could be at least close above the $1.88 trillion level. You see this? So that's your daily support right there on total. Right there with these two candles. So you close below that, it does suggest you go lower to 1.72. I like to look at this because everyone looks at the smaller assets and what's going to happen. But when you look at total also tells you a story, and you can follow that story all the way back to the books, right? So right now it looks like we're going to close below support. And even though we did wick, we could revisit that area. Again, we're going to be watching the smaller time frames to see how they play out. You really want to see this 7-minute break back above the 200 MA here and get this pump. We get this pump, things will change here for Bitcoin to the upside. All right. There's WEEX.com. You can make the same exact trade here on WEEX as well. All right. Like, wait. You can make the same trade. Hold on. Where's that trade? I thought we made the trade, but I guess I did not. I didn't pull the trigger yet on the trade. So here, above the 5 minutes still, so that trade is still good. Hold up. What's going on here? Right. Might be there, but I might be whenever I have MEXC and WEEX open at the same time, they tend to battle each other. Kind of have to pick one and trade one for the day. Also, BOOKMAP tends to grab a little bit of that API connection. Just, you know, and then I'm live streaming. If I wasn't live streaming, they all run pretty nicely. So again, breaking above the 5 minute is a bullish sign. Like, this should continue to pump. Many, many times, this has been a beautiful trade, right? Let me talk to the comment section here and see what's happening. Traders are pricing in 60% chance of Fed issuing an emergency basis point cut in the next week, Bloomberg reported. Don't short yourself. You stream peak roughly around 27 viewers, not 2300. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. You should practice on me, Billy. Amen. Poor keeps us humble. I keep trying to give it all away, but it keeps coming back tenfold. Giver's gain, right? What time frame makes you put in the long? 30 minute, 1 hour. Brr. I took a partial on my long, waiting for you to say banana curve. You're funny. You know, the emergency cut, I think that it's a possibility, right? It's a newsworthy possibility to talk about, but is it going to happen? Unlikely. Why? In my humble opinion, it will weaken the dollar, and it could make things even worse, right? It really could make things even worse. So, you know, they do that, and then what do they do with the next rate hike? Like, then they're going to have to cut again, and it puts them in a place where they're going to have a lot more questions than answers, and then people are going to be grilling them. I think they better lay low and just let things blow over here. We still are up, 8% on the year on the S&P? So the S&P is still holding gains from the beginning of the year. Am I wrong? And that, in that sense, I mean, how can you justify an emergency rate hike? I get it, though. I'm on the fence, honestly. I've heard both economists that are very well experts in both ideas talk on both sides. I was listening to a very intense Spaces this morning, and if I had to make a call, I would say no, because then what do they do? Because like their only firepower is the rate cut they have coming, right? If they come out with an emergency rate cut, then what happens then? Then what happens if that doesn't work and they have to come up with another one? Next thing you know, people will be blaming them, and the more they do, the more they get blamed for too. They want to touch the market the least, you know, even though they shouldn't be touching it at all, but they still mess around, right? They still mess around. 5 minute above the 200 MA could be a very bullish sign. We do need to interact back with the 21-day moving average, though. That's something that we want to see happen, and happen fast. All right. I connect my BitGet account with TradingView. It's really cool now, and I trade on TradingView. Doesn't need to switch always to the exchange. It is a good thing to do. At the gym with you in the headphones, trying to relax. This dip cut deep. Yeah. Did have a great morning shorting it, though. Thank you, Sammy. Shout out to Peter L, man. Yeah. An emergency rate cut would cause more fear. Exactly, too. It would say, well, people would get even crazier. It might even cause more sell-off. It might do the opposite of what it was thought based on when I think about it logically, it feels like it can't happen. Yeah, like when you sit down and ask yourself, no. Yeah. The market hasn't dumped enough for the emergency cut. This is likely going to give us the move here, right? I do have a long open. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. On WEEX. Yeah. Hit the likes for the best. ETH ate us yesterday. Yep. Wow. The Airbnb, thanks for being here, I believe. Yep. The market hasn't dumped enough for an emergency rate cut. Yeah, they'd have to see, like, you know. I do see a bearish div here, though. This is what, you know, and rising wedges do break down 68% of the time. Back to where they began. This would send us back to 52,547 for Bitcoin. And it is Monday. I don't go, like, all hard on Mondays. Hey, Lifer, do you win it on the trade before? I usually would have above. It looks like the limit order may not have taken, though. Yeah. Occasionally, the limit order does not hit. No, I did not go in on the trade. The limit order did not take. Yeah. Sammy, I just want to thank you. I am learning a lot from you. Keep it up, brother. Thank you. I just decided to DCA and stop day trading. Every time I day trade or short-term swing, I lose money. I'm going to keep adding to my bags and pray I'm rewarded in the bull run. You got to go back to a small amount until you can turn $100 to $200. You have no business putting money into day trading. The problem is people don't want to work at day trading. It's a very hard practice. It takes years and years to really get good at it, in my humble opinion. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You have to set your goal and say, I'm going to get good at it no matter how long it takes. If that's what you're going to do, you will get good at it. All right? You see what I mean? But like until then, no. Not going to happen. All right? Now, once this loses the 200 SMA, look for it to bounce further to the downside. All right? Sam is spitting fire today. Shout out to Master Friend. Sam, when are we pulling back right now? I have a short scalp. I mean, there's a bearish div right here. Tells you may definitely win that short scalp. I tried placing a limit order around 54.5. Also didn't get placed. You can plant a tree at the same time. Gather the fruit overnight. Amen. You need a lot of mental capital to be able to day trade. Amen. Get that trade and get out. It's a fake pump. I'm not in the trade. Yeah, I'm double checking. I'm not in the trade. Yeah. No trade. No trade is open right now. Nada. Did you short of yesterday night work? Yes, it did. It played out nicely. Did anybody take the short last night that I put out before we went to bed? We made 134% on the short. I'll show you exactly what happened. Remember, we talked about the 1 hour is the 1 minute. I said either it breaks above, it had a little bit of a movement. I said I stay short, and then we dumped right to the target. Went a little lower, came back up, and ended up at the target when I woke up this morning. And that short did hit the target. So, you know, it started down to up 26, and then we ended up making gains. 138% on WEEX. Jump on into WEEX today. Hit the QR code if you want to trade with the lifers and the big boys. All right. Again, if you don't know what you're doing, please do not trade leverage. All right. Unless you've done it. You use a demo account. Do not use real money if you're going to trade leverage. What's going to happen here is if this can touch the 21-day moving average before it dumps, we are in you know, we could get ourselves a little rally here. And I play this all the time with the 1 minute. Now we're just going to trade it on the, you know, we get the 21 to touch and then we're gone. The key is a lot of times once you flip this yellow line, you will stay above it. See how we're fighting with it? 53,800. All right. I still trade on MEX all the time. I love MEX. Yeah. MEX is my home sweet home, baby. Yeah. I trade on MEXC and WEEX. MEX and WEEX, baby, the two twins. MEXC and WEEXy. Sometimes I keep them both. Sometimes one's a longer one, and sometimes one's a bigger one. It all depends on what I'm doing. You're just looking for this to touch that white line before it loses the yellow line. Simple little game we play. And this is another one of my models that I've learned to try. And I just started using this model, I'd say a month and a half ago. Like I saw it for years, but you don't write it out as a real model. You don't see it. I'm like, well, this is a model now. I mean, this could be played out. All right. And you're like, all right, I take profit up at 58,926. My stop loss is going to be at 133, and bang, you know. 147, wow, 262 for 1900. It's an 8-to-1 risk-reward ratio, right? It's almost like you got to take it, right? So close to the bone, though. It is a Monday, could easily lose the gains. I like to chop that stop loss up. I only want to lose like 140 bucks, right? And this is high risk, you know what I mean? High risk, for sure. I haven't had such a good day of trading yesterday too. I probably wouldn't risk as much. I'd risk less. Always use a stop loss every single time I trade. Every single time. Always make sure the stop loss is way above the liquidation price. My liquidation price is 51.47. My stop loss is going to be at 53, or if you have to check, it's going to be at 53,389. Okay? It should pump back up to 60,000. No use, yeah. I'm holding altcoins and my portfolios are gone. I don't use leverage. Should I be worried? You long a trade, your followers pump that mark. You take a short, your followers dump that. I don't know about that, man. I can't pump and dump Bitcoin. See, people accuse me of pumping and dumping Bitcoin, $1 trillion asset. Yeah, I can long and we're all going to long it together. No, it doesn't work like that. There's too much money in this market. We can't move Bitcoin like that. It would be awesome if we could, man. And I'm flattered for you to think that that's possible, but it's just not. Yeah. I'll lose this trade right in front of you, and then you'll know that that's just not true. You're like, wow, he actually lost the trade. Like, he doesn't win every trade, so it wouldn't make sense. If I win every trade, then fine, but I don't win every trade. It just doesn't happen. Okay. Just hit reverse button on the short scalp. Not long. You're funny. Bro thinks he has it figured out. Ah, Crypto Brothers. Who would say you bullish? Nobody has it figured out. Yeah. Well, already recovered half the dump. Yeah, not too bad, right? Well, if you're moving the market like this, can I have a loan, please? Exactly, right? Like, I'm some type of King Tut baller, you know what I mean? I do make 50 bucks in 2 minutes, but I mean, it is what it is. With only $1,000 up 4%, right? Always ready to move the stop loss to break even and basically take control. The longer we wait for the 21 to catch, the better off, the better are the odds that we will get the move. All right. What up, livers? Thanks brother for educating us every day. Much love. Yeah, every time. And I'm just showing you the strategies that I use every single day on a daily basis. You want to see when the candle closes, 1 minute and 48 seconds. You want to right click and hit countdown to bar close. Very important you know when that candle closes. Look, we're up 90 bucks pretty fast. All right. 100 bucks. I mean, scalping $100 out of the market. Now I can move my stop loss like into break even. Because I can't lose money now. And you can even take that, make 100 bucks in 2 minutes. I mean, it's a pretty nice move, right? So. And this is just, I use this same strategy over in front of all of you almost every day. You guys watch me do this every single day. Constantly. Never ending, really, right? Sam, have a great blessed day, sir. Anytime, man. What trade platform do you use? I use WEEX or MEXC. Whichever one makes you happy. Some people are having trouble with MEXC, depending on where they live, so WEEX is the replacement. And WEEX is amazing. Running a campaign right now for WEEX.com. And thank you for asking. I'd love to answer it. All right. Jump on into into la trade. And there you have it, up 132, 13%, right? And now you want to go to this blue line. That's the 200 SMMA, right? Now you're looking, once you cruise above the 200, and now the further you get from this white line, though, it tells me that I have a better chance of, now look, I move my stop loss to definitely take 125 no matter what, or 120, something like that. And look, the further you get from this white line, the less likely you're going to continue to pump here. All right? So I'm being very narrow with my stop, you see? I don't mind getting kicked out here for the 120. I like the 150, see? The issue here is I still believe the trade's going to go well. But when you gap this far from the 21, it's likely you're going to dump now. Right back down. It just is. I've seen it 1,000 times in my life. I've seen it 900 out of 1,000 times. If this doesn't start jumping right now, right to this white line, then I don't know I don't know who I am. My name ain't Sam. You know what I mean? I can tell you what's going to happen on the 1 minute chart when it happens, man. You've never seen trading like this. I take money out of the market every single day in front of people constantly. I make $100 in 2 minutes. I do it all the time, just like I do it right there. All I need is one candle on the 5 minute chart, a couple minutes. I can do that 10 times a day and make $1,000 and continue to grind, right? I guess the leverage have to stop above liquidation. Yes, every time you have to have a stop. Yeah, Sammy is saying, can you explain the difference between EMA, SMMA, and MA, please? I really get confused with those three and the differences on the chart. Honestly, it doesn't matter which one you use. An EMA puts more weight. Say you have a 21 MMA, all right? Now, you're going to make me do like a real tutorial here? I guess I will. Let's go let's do a tutorial for you, all right? I guess I got to, I'll be your teacher for the day over here, all right? This is how you know I'm one of the best teachers. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Hold on. Looks like we're continuing to pump here. Look at this. Crazy. So my name ain't Sam then. You know what I mean? Look, I be in the money still, which happens a lot, right? I'm wary when you get away from the 21-day moving average. But look, a few times here you continue to pump from it. But you're eventually going to come back to it. Just tells me that even if we got a good pump here, we're gonna get an even better trade with less risk. And I don't need to chase at this point. Even though it feels like I should chase, I just don't need to. We're gonna get the 21 to cross though and stay above the 200, which is a good sign. I could make the same trade I just made and do the same thing with the stop loss below the 200 again. You see? Now I could risk like, $100 for 400 or whatever, and now I already have the 100 to risk, right? Because I already took 100 from the market maker. All right. The key is to set yourself up with a winning trade. Begin your day. That's how I like to do it. And then start fresh. Everyone is so used to losing so many trades. Then they're so scared to sell a trade. They're like, oh, if I sell a trade, I'll never get back in. All right. Anyway. So here, this looks like it could go. If you had no moving averages at all, and I was just looking at this. It looks like a rising wedge that's going to go parabolic, right? Looks like we're going to get a pump right now to 59,000. Almost feel like I should take a shot no matter what, just because I'm getting some FOMO right now, honestly. So there's the rising wedge. See how I'm using patterns all the time, but I'm also using moving averages, but I'm also using the VRVP. But I'm also using stochastics RSI. Like, I'm not just using one thing. I'm using a multitude of things to create the vision of the market that I'm looking for, okay? And you got to curb your enthusiasm and your emotions, and don't make stupid trades when you're leveraging. Every time you leverage trade, it has to be by the book. You have to have your risk-reward ratio down packed. You have to use the same one over and over again. You can't vary. The second you vary, you will get slapped. I'm telling you right now. And you'll look back and be like, what did I do that for? Why did I vary? So 58,926, same area, 5958. 53,248. Right? Now, we bounced off the 200. This is a really good sign. 21 still coming into play. Everything looking pretty good here. Fended off some slightly bearish dip there. And again, I will get back to the tutorial here. So we're going to add the 200. We're going to add an MA, right? A moving average. A simple. We'll add a weighted or an SMMA. A smooth moving. And then an EMA, right? an exponential moving average. All right. We'll make them all the 200. All right. And you're going to see it doesn't really matter. I'm going to blow your mind. No one does this for people, so they don't nobody understands things about the market. Because everybody talks and squawks, but nobody really explains anything. You know what I mean? I used to watch YouTube for years, man. I didn't learn a dang thing. Some people taught me here and there, but you know. So this looks like it's going to break out hard, right? You're going to get the cross of the 21 and pull up the price action, but eventually you're going to dump back to that 21. The gap is there. Tells me to be wary. It's interesting. Let me see my 15. 15 can gap right to the 200 too, which is showing signs of that happening. Beautiful double bottom. And again, whatever sell-off took place yesterday, the market's looking back, and there's a lot of people that are like, man, these are really good prices for Bitcoin. Like, you know, like I never got a half a Bitcoin. A half a Bitcoin was just 35,000. Now it's about 25. Like, I mean, you got a $10,000 discount now on the half a Bitcoin. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, right? Look, this is even kind of a shoulder ahead and a right shoulder there. Look like the 1 minute may still make a bit of a flag. Still may have some time there for some sideways price action before I have to make my decisiones, right? Whole trade's ready to go though, right? And, you know, I basically have it set. 300 for 9, you know, 278 for 995. I mean, it looks pretty nice to me. Again, that original trade would have been in the money had it clipped. My name ain't. It isn't. I mean, it was supposed to make a red candle, right? I got my stop loss set at 54K. We all profit from here. At least we no longer fear of going below 48K in the short term. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for the next hour or two, right? So look, these are them. All right. These are them. You'll see the 200, the SMA and the EMA, which are the both together here, right? We'll show you your EMA. We'll make it a different color, obviously. We'll make it white, all right? And the SMMA will make, like, that's the one all by itself at the top there. We'll make it gray, right? So here you go, and there's your 200, right? Now look, when you cross the EMA, you can get in and put a stop loss and do the exact same trade with the SMA. There's no difference. There really is no difference. They trade exactly the same. They're so similar, there's no difference to me. You get it? Some people say the EMA is a lot quicker or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you tell me, right? It's like, I have a little bit of a curve here first, so it kind of bend it up. But all it does is it takes more information from a later time frame. So, and I like to use the 21 as the example. So the 21 MA takes 21 days, divides it by 21. All right. The 21 EMA takes 21 days and divides it by 21, but it puts more weight when it does the equation into day number, let's say 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Exponential moving average. It gets more exponential weight on the moving averages that are closer to time. You get it? Aha. And so now the smooth moving average is even a more in-depth equation that takes into account longer periods of time. And when you get above the smooth moving averages, it's really telling you a big move. It's almost defining the fact that the trend is happening. So like when you lost the smooth moving average here, you were done for Bitcoin, right? You started to lose pretty fast. If we get back above the smooth moving average here on the 5 minute, we can start to get a move back to the upside. All right. So look, now we're starting a little bit of a flag here. Remember, the 5 minute has me a little weary just because it's away from that 21. And whenever you're away from the 21, you usually come back to it, right? Even though it looks like it's going to cross and all that, we're kind of in the middle on some indecision here. Remember, I didn't make the trade yet. We made one trade already, in and out. I like to get in and out because I don't need to worry about what's happening to the market after that. I think I found my style, my personal day trading style is in and out on the small time frame. You know, but look, 48,000 is telling us BOOKMAP has been right for days now, and they're saying we're going lower. They're still saying that we are going lower, so only time will tell. I need to see price action basically touch or get close to this 21-day moving average. If that happens, this rising wedge is going to break out parabolically. And at least we might get at least a run up, at the very least. Solana pulled back nearly. Oh yeah, Solana took a beating. Yeah, everything took a beating. Yeah. Is Bitcoin your biggest bag? No comment. No comment. Yeah. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. Let's get 1,000 likes here. Let's do it. We can do it easily. 2,260 people here on the live. 2,700 people here on the live at one point. Let's get the likes up to the watchers, baby. Let's go. You got to keep your energy up. You are the opportunity. There might be a beautiful short today. There might be a beautiful long today. But if you're all sulky and depressed, you won't be able to use your mind to push yourself forward, and you won't be able to push yourself forward. You got to believe you are the opportunity. I'm going to push you to believe that every single day. I'm going to push you to believe in yourself. There's nobody better than you, man. You got it. You got this. You got this. Go for the gold. Michael Phelps it, baby. You know what I mean? You create the life that you live. No matter what happens to these markets, you create the life that you live. Okay? BookMap says 2 billion USD at 57, 2 billion USD down on Bitcoin. Is that normal? Hey, I don't know, man. I just see more liquidity at 48,000. I don't know how you have your BookMap set up. A wise man once said, you are the opportunity. Yep. I'm still adding to my bags. It's not the time to sell. ONDO up 30% for the low. Caspa up 25%. Market leading altcoins. Amen. Right? What do you think about AVAX? I like AVAX. It just has been underperforming recently than how it used to. I have to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, to produce a Bitcoin 53,000, a lot of people say the price can't go lower than the actual electricity, it costs the electrical cost that it does to produce a Bitcoin. That's something that you have to kind of consider too. 53,000 is that level. Again, anything is possible. I almost see a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder there. I know we have to come to that 21. That's why I waited and waited patiently before the trade. Sold a lot on Friday. Bought back early morning today. Let's go. Amen. Sam, do you see another dump before pumping? There is. Right now, you're in a downtrend, right? Until we can get back above, like the smaller time frames are going to fight as hard as they can to change the trend. And we have a slight small change in the small. We have a micro change. We have a micro uptrend in the small time frames. But we're in a macro downtrend. And unless you break the macro downtrend, we're in for likely more pain, for sure. Yes. Let's take a look at just what I'm talking about here again on the trend. Look at that head and shoulder pattern too, right? It's like a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, now it suggests you'll make a lower high. And so like once you took out that low, now again, the bigger trend, the macro trend is on the weekly, and that's still intact. You have a low, a high, a low, a higher low. You would have to, I believe, take out this low at 40,000 and go lower here. Then you could make a lower high somewhere up at 61, and that would be the end of the rally. It'd be one dead cat bounce, and that would be it, right? Japan, it's the Japanese yen, man. It's creating turmoil in the world markets. It really is, for sure. Yeah. Just get this price action in the 21 to collide here, and we can get a boom out of this rising wedge to the upside for Bitcoin. Holding above the 200 MA is a good sign for price action to pump. I've seen it many, many times. Oh no. That's that track right there. Anyway, moving forward for Bitcoin, can we continue to pump? Are there any altcoins giving us some love right now? Let's take a look at Caspa. Is Caspa getting a pump? Let's take a look if there's some action here for Caspa. Caspa even had that bearish dip. It's funny. Caspa hit the top, all-time high. The market took a beat down. Caspa took the top, all-time high. Market took a beat down. Caspa jumped from $12 all the way back up to $15.5. Pretty insane if you think about it. And there's Caspa's long-term trend line. And to me, it just looks like it will consolidate into this level. And that would be a nice consolidation for Caspa. And then there it's continuation up to like 40. I don't see how it gets to $2, everybody, because it's going to take so much money at this $4 billion market cap. It was at $5 billion. Now it probably got, it scraped down a bit. But I mean, you're talking a $10, $12 billion market cap. It's got to triple from here, and it must be at a 3.5 at this point. Let's see how good my math is. It was a 4.89 before the dump. I'm thinking it's a 3.5 now, right? 3.77, right? It ain't too bad. So the idea here, let's move back into Caspa. We're looking for that bounce. That's what I'm looking for, right? Yeah. Gains be sexy when you trade on MEXC. Shout out to MEXC. 0% spot maker and taker fee, 0% maker fee, 0.1% future taker fee. Jump on it today and sign up. It'll blow your mind. Always have a backup exchange. You can also sign up to WEEX on the campaign. It's good to have two exchanges. You never know when one's not acting up or something's up and you really want to trade. I always keep it extra. You know what I mean? Extra, baby, extra. I like the cross here on the 21. That's a good sign. So far, so good. And we're pretty close to price action. I'm going to start a smaller long with an 89 risk because it's Monday. We get above the SMMA, I may add to the trade. I make 300, then we add to the day of $400, and then it will make $400 before 12 o'clock, and then I can still make trades up until 12 tonight. You know what I mean? It's a 24-hour market. It is not a race. It's a marathon. Everyone thinks they have to make all their money immediately, and I think that's another thing when you're in the trade. But it's one day at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time. All right? Let's take a look at ONDO. ONDO got a bit of a bounce. I saw it in a flag yesterday. It was the only thing I would even consider touching, right? Wow, ONDO back to 66. And you're pulling fibs at this point. I mean, it came back down to the golden pocket. It's funny. You'll look back a year from now and be like, man, that was the perfect time to buy. It's always the horrible pain, but that was the golden pocket for ONDO, right? So I like ONDO here. At the same time, we could go lower. We could see ONDO at 39 to the 786 Fibonacci level. It's definitely nibble time. And wow, it went to 47. Already up about 50% from the low. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. But you think it really still has to come back up, maybe come back down one more time, and then it's gone. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a 62 cent maybe one more time. Yeah. It costs $45K to mine one BTC. Please do small AVAX analysis. Just because I love you and it's been a tough day, I'll throw AVAX in there for you, my friend. All right. Sideways price action, good for Bitcoin with the 21 coming in. So AVAX took a beat down. I mean, look at it. Like weekly falling wedge, right? Wow, at 19. Crazy, right? But you know what? Whenever this happens, it usually means that the big boys want to get in. And, you know, we have our own rally. This happened in 2019. We had a beautiful rally in 2019, all right, in the summer. And then August, September, they crashed the market so hard that we lost every gain and some, only to rebuild us and pump us through the bull market again through the next cycle of 2021, right? Or 2020. But I'll always remember that summer of 2019. If I look at the Atom chart on Binance, that's where I was trading it. We'll get back. So AVAX is in the accumulation zone at the 786. If you believe in AVAX, I mean, it doesn't get better than this. However, there's no guarantees it's going to be the best. So I don't know what to tell you, but it's pretty nice. Storage up 25%. Bitcoin prediction today. Maya and Binance are now mining Caspa. Cheers, Sam. I follow you since you got 50 viewers. Let's go, mate. Thank you. Just woke up and joined your live. First thing, what price do you enter your long at? Basically right about here where we're at. I'd like to wait for the 21 to touch price action, but right about here is the entry point for me, personally. About 54.3, 54.250. But again, you do whatever makes you happy, and I'm not a financial advisor. I don't think I'm saying you should be taking this financial advice. I have a nice stop loss here below the 200 MA. I like that the 21's crossing. That gives me signs that we will get a reversal. We're looking for 58,926 to take some profit here out the trade. Sam, can you look at Bookmap, please? Yes, we can. Bookmap has liquidity to the downside, but it does build some red all the way up to $56,000, $57,000. So, hey, there is enough red, and the closest area is red. Suggests that we can get some shorts liquidated here in the interim of the day. Sam will never tell you when to buy or sell. It's up to you. Shout out to Master Friend. The YouTube algorithm is really pushing every crypto influencer that I don't know on top of my page and ignoring the usual subscribe Crypto Lifer video. Don't worry, man. We just wigged down to 53,000. Got stopped out. You're funny, man. How is that possible? Can you check out Jasmine, Arrow? Friend, tell me when to sell, though. Yeah. Is it going down or up? Who knows, right? Again, we're going to look for this to pump. All right? We should be in the money now in the trade, right? Yeah, we're in the money. Very small trade, though. I'd like that trade to be bigger. And it's Monday, though. It always cautions me. Sammy, all the alts are already beaten, and yesterday they crashed as well. Crypto has become a pool of sharks. Normies can't make anything. It's tough. Join the 99 within 3 weeks. I've 10x'd and joining the joining fee. Thank you, Sam. Amen. Hey, if you just learn what we give you, and you take our knowledge and you use that knowledge alone, and it adds to your life, so be it. All right. Join the 99 within 3. Join the 99 and be on time. Shout out to Crypto Bear Baker in the house. 11:32. All right. And so far, I mean, we got beat. But sunny skies right now. Finally, it looks like it's cleared up a little bit. Sunny skies here. It's cleared up slightly. From the rain. We got battered by Debbie all for like 2 days now. I've had an earache. The market's crashed. It feels like I've been in some type of whirlwind. I would love it if 2 weeks from now we go back to like 70K and we act like this never happened. Right? Do you have a course? Amen. Right? I'm ready to see Sam get hyped on this pump. Let's go. I love it if we get this beautiful pump to the upside here for Bitcoin. So far, it's looking pretty good based on how the 21 crossed the 200 MA. You can use this on bigger time frames as well. You could expand this to the macro. There's many different ways to look at this. All right. We got to look at the DXY over the weekend, right? Inverted head and shoulder there on the 5-minute time frame. We talked about this getting a dump, and so far so good. It did get the dump. 4-hour loss to 200 MA, right? And that's when we knew. I'm like, wait, where's my MAs? And it's funny, I turned them off. Remember, we were doing something different. I was like, why does my chart look so different? But wow, the 4-hour also suggests a possible bounce for the dollar. I mean, how bad can it get? The Japanese yen, like we showed you, will come back to the 21-day moving average. So will the dollar. So as the Japanese yen comes back to the 21, so will the dollar. You get it? It doesn't mean, this could make a bear flag, and then we could continue further to the downside. It'd be nice if we decouple from this dump for the dollar, right? But this is what we watch now. And, you're low in the stochastics. I would suggest a bounce, but it could just be making a bear flag, right? Here we go with a little pumpage here for Bitcoin. Nothing crazy, but up 5%, $11 already on the trade. This will be the second trade in the green. Let's see. It's very hard to make even one trade in the green in front of people, never mind 2 in a row. McDonald's is breaching the 1-day 200 MA. Can you have a look, please? Gap in the VRVP2. You're funny. DXY crashing. Why Bitcoin is down. They are coupled together when the whole world, we lost liquidity. They took liquidity out of the world markets yesterday. That's what happened. Liquidity was taken out of the market. People had put in liquidity because they had bought in Japanese yen, used that Japanese yen at a 0 interest rate to buy the stock market, to buy bonds, to buy everything. They had to sell off to pay back the yen. There was some left over, but most of it was a sell-off. Okay? Understand what's happening here. All right. We talked about it earlier this morning. That's why the Japanese yen chart is out of control against the US dollar. This will reset at one point. This trade won't go on forever, and things will kind of begin to kind of balance back. Yeah. And was it a joke thinking about the long-term McDonald's bag? I know. I thought it was funny to act like it was a joke, but I was like, I think he really wants to ask about McDonald's. So say I was in McDonald's. Wow, on the weekly, it's doing great. It just continues to move. Kind of did what Bitcoin did with the double top, then came back and got a bit of a bounce, though, right? Heavy resistance, but once they print money again, which they're going to have to print money, I don't see how they don't. I just don't see how they do not. McDonald's on the weekly bounced to the 200 MA. The daily, it lost the 200 and took a beat down. Double bottomed here though, and maybe making a W. Adam and Eve double bottom. Once it breaks the 200 MA, I'd look for it to get back to liquidity. Again, look how far it is for the 21-day moving average. Very simple. Draw your flag. McDonald's will likely flag out. Once it flags out, you can play it. It'll break the 200, and that's a swing trade for McDonald's right there. Looks like it's going to take 8 or 9 days to play out. They can get into McDonald's 265 and ride it to 298. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I've taken my account for $205,000. It's still in trades, doing what you have taught. You're a legend, and I'm forever in your debt. Wish I can share more. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate you, David. I've helped enough people throughout the world that I don't even see haters anymore because they don't exist to me. I can't see a hater. I don't know what a hater is, you know? Shout out to all the awesome people here on the stream. You people are great, really nice, kind, and loving. It's because of each and every one of you that I come back every single day, and it's the love, man. And if you live in love, you cannot be denied. I'm really appreciative of all the people that are loving here on the channel. So it's just a blessing. All the crypto lifers every single day, you guys are really a blessing. Once total market cap breaks the 200 in the 7 minute, we can get ourselves a bit of a rally here to the upside. Looks like altcoins are getting a bit of a bump back to the upside too. Let's take a look at the total market cap and all of the altcoins, total 3. This is the market cap of all of the altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Gives us another picture of what's happening to the altcoins so we can kind of get a bit of an idea here of how much they're bouncing. We bounced from 474 all the way to 514. $30 billion come back into the altcoins. Let me say that again. That's a $30 billion candle coming back into the altcoins. That's no joke, all right? When I get paid, I'll get myself into that course with you. I teach a course the last Saturday of every single month. So you have a long time to get in. That's going to be the 31st of August. It happens to be the last Saturday of the month, is the last day of the month. We also do a monthly candle close that night, so it'll be fun. That Saturday night will be a Saturday stream that'll pack a bit of a punch there. You know, could you still be making a flag and bouncing to the upside? There's a good chance. We got to get a bounce, though. We want to see us break back above $546 billion on these altcoins faster than, sooner than later. We did get a nice bounce there, 453. And we have some chop that we bounced off of right there at 470. You can see there was some chop that we got to bounce. So far, we did get a wick back to the upside. Could we get the continuation? And again, it's back to the same story here. Look, we're on the 7 minute. However, look, the altcoins did breach the 7 minute 200 SMA, meaning that altcoins are recovering a little faster than Bitcoin because they are smaller. We need this to hold to get the continuation to the upside, but so far, this is how it would play out. If we did get a continuation, we'd break the 200. I've seen us just get rejected and start falling right now. We haven't done that yet. It's showing some signs of life here for Bitcoin. 729 for BTC on the move. Can we get the continuation here to the upside? I bounce back between my 1 minute and my 7 just to double check to see what's happening. 1 minute needs to come back down, head and shouldery. It still is a rising wedge. It's still a sketchy trade. High risk on a Monday for sure. I'd feel far better once we get back above this SMMA. That means we're going to be actually smooth. That's why we call it the smooth moving average. You have a higher chance of a smoother move. Hey, Crypto Lifer, been a lifer since February. Love what you and the whole team have do. I've got a big bag of soul like yourself. What are your thoughts on it long term with the current situation? I just kind of hold it, man. I stay in conviction of what I was doing. And that's it. Yeah. What's your Bitcoin on BTC5 stealing the alts thunder this coming bull run? I'm excited. Fractal Bitcoin looks big. I'm going to start getting back into Bitcoin and fractal Bitcoin. Actually, this week, I'm going to be studying the new things that are coming to BRC20 and the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're not done yet, and they're actually building. A lot is happening with Bitcoin and fractal Bitcoin. I would write fractal Bitcoin down. You really want to know what's going down, I'm going to keep you privy. I'm always kind of a step ahead. When things are kind of, I see where we're at, and then I'm always researching what's next to come for BTC. Now, if you took this trade, you are in the money. Another trade that I gave you guys, 2 trades in a row, 16% gains on the trade. All right. I doubt Sol will break all-time highs this cycle. They just printed 30% of Sol supply the last couple of months out of thin air. What's one of the best things to own in a recession? Gold. Bitcoin is digital gold. Amen. Singapore, check out what they did for Bitcoin. 54,890, getting the nice pump and the short squeeze as we suggested could happen for BTC. And look, you can see some liquidations right there that just occurred here. A bit of a short squeeze for Bitcoin. We can see liquidity above us too as well. All right. We just jammed up to 54.9 though, only to get resistance. We're kind of not, we're kind of staying with the 21, but it would be better off if we, You should check out Veller, Sammy. They're connecting all the Bitcoin layer 2s. Check the DMs. Thank you. Yeah, you've been hooking me up with what's really going down, man. I appreciate that. Wow. STX has bounding and Veller Co., the perp dex on Bitcoin. So a lot of big news for Bitcoin. Discover the fair launch and unworkable token before everybody else. STX.city, the bonding curve, Stone, seal with headphones. So this is like meme coins for Bitcoin. All right. Understanding Pepe the King Prawn is so funny, right? Then you have Unlock, Veller, Unlock liquidity. What is it, ant biting me? Unlock Bitcoin liquidity. Veller enables seamless swapping, trading, launching assets on premier Bitcoin layer 2s, providing unparalleled liquidity and flexibility. Pretty interesting. And I remember I found out the GOAT people, GOAT token here, and I got their they got a cool little pin. But I met them at the Bitcoin conference. They're awesome. Good people over there, GOAT. I like them. Still staying above the 200 MA. You can see if you got in when we did, you're still in the money technically, but it's a battle and it's going to take some time. I'd rather not look on a Monday and just let it marinate, right? So we went over total 3, the market cap. Let's take a look at Mara, the mining. How bad did the NASDAQ beat down Mara? The downside, it's attempting to make the same flag and bounce back up with Bitcoin, but Mara going all the way back to 13, and it's at 16 now. Still holding a double up from when we got in, if you can believe it. It's been one of the longest. Wow. It'll be a year in our lives that'll have taken so long. I mean, and we've gone up and down so many times. Wow. I work with GOAT. Shout out to Nicholas Basler. We love you, man. GOAT's cool. November is the time to be stacking blue chip ordinals. Riot was a bad. I just read that. I don't know about that. I just read his comment. It's not what I think, but it may be. I don't want to put his idea down. It's not. I don't know if I'll be doing that, but I'm just getting red now. And there's some bearish divvy there. We got to hold above the 200 MA. That's the key. That's why the stop loss is that close. All right, because if we lose the 200 SMA, so be it. It is what it is. Wow, just have a nice pump only to come back down. That's false move Monday. It's a Monday. The market's sketched out right now. And honestly, we could have some bad news in a second. Total market cap getting rejected by the 7-minute is not a good sign. You need to get back above this yellow line. See, if we get rejected here, we're going to dump. That could create a bigger dump. It really could. You really want to see us break back above this yellow line. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, it's going to tell you kind of what likely could happen for the rest of the week. I know you think and you don't realize how important it could be, but it is. The 200 SMA plays a big idea, and these smaller time frames either let you go or let you or resist you. Sam, I'm trying to schedule a class, but it says on the 24th, not the 31st. Is this correct? Yeah, I guess you could take it on the 24th. Maybe it got moved. Yeah, take it on the 24th, the second to last Saturday of every month, I think. Sure. Yeah. Whatever's there, man. I don't do the scheduling, so yeah. I just get told where to be, and I'll be there if that's what's supposed to be. Thank you for it is the 24th, everybody, not the 31st. Yeah, and there's some bearish divvy here on that 1 minute. And even the 1 minute's like attempting to get into a rising wedge, which is like, it's okay, but it's somewhat bearish. And you're, you know, if you really want to be the nitty gritty, you're watching this rising wedge flag here on the 1 minute too. It's like, it all depends, you know, and that's kind of shoulder, head and shouldery. That starts to drop and Bitcoin dumps right back down to 52,280. Kind of on a limb here. We do it. Look at all the liquidity that just started up though above us, man. They just loaded up all the liquidity above us. Like they really want to induce these shorts, and looks like they want to squeeze the shorts, in my humble opinion. Tells me that we're about to explode at 59,000. I just never seen so much red up there so fast. That tells me to be careful. If I was going to long the short the market, I'd be very careful. Look at Big Red moving up to 56.8. They want to buy 56,800, you know. So we gamble to this point all in. Yeah, I guess so. You are. I mean, I have a stop loss, so. Yeah. Balls deep, man. Again, that's why my trade isn't huge. It's Monday. If it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the trade would be triple or quadruple the size. You know, you got to actually have some type of risk management in what you do. If you don't sell, you don't lose. Yep. I'm not selling any of my long-term bags. I have to assume that we will be in a bull run in the next year and a half. And I get to sell somewhere in April of 2025. About a year from now. That's the plan. That's the hope. But nobody knows for sure, right? What's the move? Just got in. We opened up a long here on this rising wedge to the upside. Everybody's seeing if Sammy's going to lose his skins or make the gains. All right. Right now I'm up $16, 17%. It's a $4,000 trade. Very small. Very, very small. $200 at 20x lev, you know. We want to hold this level. We got above the 200 MA on the 5 minute, which is a good sign. We, you know, likely we would get the fall through. We want to see if we can continue now. And that's kind of your update for the day here for Bitcoin. And we're watching the 1 minute rising wedge if we want to get to the nitty gritty. Whatever the total market cap, the dollar index, gold, a lot of things that need to be looked at throughout the day, right? There we go, getting that green candle. And we need to see total market cap also break this 200 MA. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, this is it here. Can we get the move? So to at least give us some breathing room back up to possibly 59,000 for Bitcoin. All right. And your opinion is 50K or below possible? Anything is possible. 100% yes. Anything is possible. I always believe anything is possible. See, people that don't think anything is possible get wrecked because they think it's not possible. But any single thing is possible. Yeah. It's not what people want to buy. It's when people's liquidations are. Amen. Yeah. Dump it in treasuries, watch them rip, wait for the market to bottom, then buy the markets. Then buy. Markets are easy. Yeah, nothing's easy, man. It's not where people want to buy, it's where people liquidations are. You can get caught in treasuries too at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Sam, it looks like the rounded tops to me. I just trade the 200 MA. Let's see what happens. Right now we're ranging between the 7 minute 200 and the 5 minute 200. All right. Let's take a look. Another thing I want to show you is the CME gap that everyone keeps talking about. There's one above us now. You want to look at gaps on the daily preferably too. And so right now we're here. There's a CME gap above us, right? We have to close that gap now. So we have to go back up and close the gap. Everyone said we had to close that gap. We didn't even close the gap technically because we dropped. Usually we didn't really technically close the gap. It's kind of weird. So now we have to go back and close the gap. And, you know, it says we got to go back up. It would be crazy if we just went back up and we ended up pumping. This is a possibility. Boom. I mean, this could be even like an inverted head and shoulder or something. But that's a possibility right now, you know. All right. CME stands for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Yeah. We knew we were due for the Black Swanita moves, especially going into the elections. Oh yeah, something was going to happen. Yeah. Something was going to happen. But hey, we may have gotten the worst out of the way now. I mean, how bad could it get? People are going to remember this crash and say that was the crash of 2020. You have to remember. See, crashes happen and then you get over them. When you're in the markets on a daily basis, you don't notice them as much. The news and the people that don't know is I'm like, oh, that was that crash. Because once I started trading the markets, I was more immune to the crashes because I was maybe shorting it or making money on the crash, and it wasn't the same feeling as it was before, you know? Just like complete panic running for fear. You know, I don't do that anymore, you know? So, yeah. Looks like the COVID crash in 2020, you know? So now you're like, well, how could we crash in October or September? I mean, it seems like the worst is out of the way. You know, I mean, you never know, right? And that whole World War stuff, man, I don't buy into that. Like, I really don't think, it's just not into our economy of everybody's to have World War. It doesn't make sense. It's not a smart look. It doesn't do anything for any other country at this point in time. I just don't see the benefit of it. So to me, I feel like it's all headlines until, you know, still just swinging their egos around here and there. Can you tell on the ETF TLT? It's been paying me a nice dividend as well as a hedge. And look, we're losing the market now. Look at that head and shoulder drop. About to drop to the 200 MA. It looks like we're going to dump. The smaller time frames tell you where you're going, and then you can go from there. TLT I shares on the NASDAQ. For whatever years it's in the dumps or whatever, you know, comparatively, but, you know, last 2 years it's okay. It got above the 200 SMA and got a nice pump to the upside. Interesting. As long as it stays above the 200, it looks like it could continue, and it's just at a resistance now. And just like, what do we look at? Was it oil or gold? It's going to go back to the 21. Once it hits the 21 and stays above the 200, look for it to pump. Just like we're watching the 5 minute, same thing on the 5 minute. All right. Yep. 20-year plus treasury bond ETF. There you go. Now, does it have a resistance at yeah, I mean, it just got above the 2-day 200 MA, which is a bullish sign. You know me, right? That's a bullish sign. Stays above that, it goes to where? The 3-day 200 MA, right? That's an Adam and Eve double bottom too, it looks like to me, and a bit of an inverted head and shoulder. And that's an Adam and Eve, so interesting. Not a fan of but I can't wait for Palau ID to come in. You don't need Palau ID. Go to WEEX.com and open up your campaign. No Palau ID needed. Jump on in today and claim the bonus and start trading with us immediately on WEEX.com. All right? WEEX, baby, WEEX. Be able to do the same things. Put your stop loss, put your entry short or long, move your stuff into movement. Like you actually have a visual stop loss and take profit that you can move up and down on the screen. This is just a tool, but that it will be similar to that feeling. It'll be awesome. As long as we stay above the 200 SMA, we are going to pump, and we just sit and wait. It's just a wait. They're going to make us wait it out today. That's what they're going to do. You know, they liquidated everybody. The market's kind of in shambles. I'm waiting on my ID to come. Like WEEX. I like WEEX, but I don't want to be caught. I'm prepared. Smart man. I like that. $21 low stoke pump. Amen. I see you, bro. I see you. I like what you're saying there. I like what you're saying. We'll see. Possible. Finally came back and touched the 21. Ever since then, you know, are close enough to get the movement. I don't love the shape. I felt like we lost the, you know, I like when it's more lateral. It keeps the 45 degrees. It kind of makes me think, hanky-panky going on there. Good morning, man. Question. Do you see an inverse headed shoulder on the 10-minute time frame on Bitcoin? Yes, possibly. Inverse. Do you see inverse head and shoulder on the 10-minute? I mean, shoulder, head, right shoulder kind of there, and the double bottom. Somewhat, yeah, you know. Tight moving average suggests we pump up to the 200 MA too. I like what I'm seeing on the 10-minute. Actually doesn't look too bad. Showing signs of life there with a bounce. The 10-minute looks bullish to me. See how the 21's curving up? Like it's going to come touch price and we're going to continue to pump. 10-minute looks pretty good. YouTube didn't see us to stream today. First time in a year I had to search. It's all good, man. Don't worry. There's always glitches. There's things that happen. But you're here now, man. That's what matters. That's what matters. Yeah. I mean, we had 5,000 people on the stream today and only 2,000 today, but you know, it is what it is. Doesn't make any sense, right? But hey, it could be Europe. It could have been all the people around the world. Sammy, what do you do before trading? I remember you saying you were 25 when you started full time. I'm 27 and getting close to full time. I was a video editor who sat in front of 2 screens all day and played with the chart. They played with videos, you know. I was a video editor, you know, and eventually was working for David Letterman. My next guest needs no introduction. Bringing in all the footage, organizing it, and then sending out the final copies to Netflix and stuff like that, right? This looks like we're going to collapse, man. It doesn't look strong. We had a long time. Usually by now we've pumped up to the 200, like fake out, fake out, fake out, and dreary drops, right? I don't know. We're still in it, but it's, you know, a lackluster sideways moment here for Bitcoin. We already know kind of what's likely coming our way. We just kind of have to wait it out. You worked for David Letterman. Yes, I did. Yeah. Military industrial complex makes money on war. 27 hours. I see 57.3 and it's a strong resistance. I'll risk a short down. I'll choose my long at 49.8 and holding the long till 57,000. That's a pretty good idea in my humble opinion, but whatever makes you happy. Yeah. I just take it one day at a time with the charts, one step at a time. Right? Don't go too overboard with it. Shout out to Sean Whitney and everybody. Shout out to Clove Hitch Corey. False Move Monday. Plus it's after 11 exactly. I'm a project manager for a roofing company. By the way, you're going to be in business. There's a lot of rain and wind. My goodness. Right? But so far, things seem to be kind of calming down here on the front of the storm, right? Debbie. It was crazy last night, though. All night, like, you heard howling and thunder, and it felt like you were, like, hunkering with your family in, like, a little shack. You know what I mean? That feeling of just like, wow. Thank you. Shout out to the new subscribers. We got all the way to 68,000, almost to 68,500. We want to blast all the way to 70K. We could do that with your help, but only with your help. Help us get there. 68,580. Awesome. Last night was huge for the channel. 500 subscribers overnight. I love to see that growth. Huge, 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 huge. Yesterday was amazing. 23,000 views on the live stream. It was insanity. I'm happy more and more people are learning from the education that I teach. Remember, I have a trading group that you can jump onto anytime. Shout out to iTrust Capital, where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and move your money into an IRA. They sponsor the channel and we greatly appreciate it. If you're looking to do something for the long term, as well as, you know, you want to learn how to trade, but for the long term, iTrust Capital is amazing. Shout out to Decrypted.tax, the place where you can get a tax attorney and a CPA in the same bundle. Can't do that anywhere else. And find out more. Get yourself a consultation today. Schedule a free one and get started now at Decrypted.tax. Maybe your taxes last year weren't the best. Maybe you're in fear. Maybe something doesn't make sense. Get information so you don't live in fear anymore. Go to sleep at night feeling comfortable. Go to Decrypted.tax today and find out more. All right. And last but not least, Houdini Swap. Transact freely at Houdini Swap. This is where you're going to be able to actually go from 4,000 tokens across any coin, meaning like don't use it from an exchange, but definitely if it's your MetaMask wallet and you want to go to your Rabby, your Solana to your MetaMask, whatever you got to do, if you want to move a coin from any chain, it's there for you. They have every single chain. It's insane, from Sui to SEI, from Blast, like even smaller chains you didn't think they would have, they have. It's pretty awesome. So you could go from Sol to Andy and you could find that coin too. So 4,000 tokens across all chains. You could also do it privately, and it's also compliant through the privacy, which is awesome. So it takes longer to do privacy, but it is what it is. Shout out to Houdini Swap. I want to see 600. Show me 600. Oh my gosh, we're so close. Tomorrow, it looks like I'm going to be saying we're at $600 million. That volume continues to rise for Houdini Swap. All right. Amazing. Those are my channel sponsors. They're awesome. All three of them are really, really awesome people. Good peoples, man. Yeah. I was part of that volume. And now we're at 54,267. Look how far we are from the 21-day moving average on the 10. Suggests that we're going to make a little bit of a flag here like so. You see? It also suggests the 7 could not get above that 200. You see? Resistance. So you're hoping this flag will break us back out. It's not over yet. It's still looking somewhat bullish here as the Stokes reset. I'm still in the long, right? And that's what you get if you stay in the trading group. You're going to find out exactly what happens with that long. If I add to the long, where we go, if there's another trade, and anything that comes your way. So stay tuned for more. Pay attention. And there we are, man. It is 10 to 12 every single day here on the channel. We'll give you 2 hours of an amazing live stream, 10-minute countdown, an hour and 50 minutes. But yeah, blessings on blessings to everybody here. Looks like Debbie's headed further to the north now, kind of past us now. And looks like it's headed Monday PM, 60 mile an hour Tuesday, and then it goes off into Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina, right? It will rain a lot. And then by Friday, it'll be it'll be done, man. But thank God, Florida, we nailed it. We got away from another one. So hopefully we continue to get lucky. That was enough. I mean, it was just raining nonstop. It did not stop. So everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for another beautiful live stream. Thank you so much for jumping on in and sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Amazing. I hope you're feeling good. Who here had a great day here on the channel? Who here is in a good mood no matter what happened to Bitcoin? Who here realized it's all about you and you got this? You can, you will, you're all the best. Put a 333 in the comment if you believe in yourself and you believe in God. God is great. God's the reason I have everything I have today. I'm telling you right now. Blessings on blessings to be alive every single day. So thank you to everybody. Every single day we push forward. It's just a bump in the road. A week from now, you'll have to pick up the pieces and get back to where you're at, so it does not matter. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you more than you would ever know. Pumping at 54,530, baby. We cracked that 200. We're going to get a move to the upside. It's going to be a beautiful pump. I'm telling you, baby. It looks like Sammy's move is about to happen. You never know, though. Stay tuned. Join the trading group if you want more. Heck, people make the monthly fee in a day or two, man. A lot of people are saying that. I see it all the time. If you don't believe me, join the Discord for free, which is simple. And once you're in the Discord for free, you can go to the server and you can go to the testimonials. And you can also have some free guides right there that we make for you. So jump on in today. I'm telling you right now, it'll blow your mind. You can be making $298 like this guy, right? Anyway, everybody, we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you so much for being here. Shout out to all my channel sponsors. You are all amazing. And may God bless everybody on the stream. We'll see you all tomorrow for another awesome live. Hey, we gave you a live trade too. We made gains on this live. I can do that a few more times today and really start to stack the gains. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Your viewership is what creates this channel. I'd be nowhere. We wouldn't have 2,000 viewers if you didn't show up every single day. So I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much. May God bless everyone in this channel. Remember, live in love, be good to others, and stay positive no matter what. There's nothing else you can do but stay positive. You have no idea how much love I have for each and every one of you because I've put my life's work into this channel, and it's each and every one of you that I do it for. May God bless you all, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Gratitude is the attitude for abundance. Amen. I'll see you tomorrow.